So, you're playing Phasmophobia, you're struggling to get evidence, you're unable to complete objectives, and you're dying all the time. I'm going to fix all those problems for you right now. This is my guide on how to use every item in Phasmophobia. First, we'll go through the main equipment. These are the items that you get given at the beginning. D.O.T.S Projector. Some people really struggle with this. The D.O.T.S is a big green laser grid that shows you the outline of the ghost running through it. To use it, simply place it on the floor or on the walls in the ghost's room. It can be hard to see the silhouette sometimes, so to make it easier, make sure any light sources are turned off around the D.O.T.S projector and either stand way back so more is visible, or place the video camera in front of the D.O.T.S and look on the monitor in the van using the night vision setting. You can also see the D.O.T.S in person unless it's a Goreo. To see Goreo D.O.T.S, you have to look through the monitor in the van or use a video camera while out of the ghost room. If you see the D.O.T.S on your camera but not in person, then you've got a Goreo. EMF Reader. When the ghost does something, for example touching a door or throwing an object, you'll have about 15 seconds to check the reading with your EMF reader by going close to the interaction. A door touch, window knock or something similar will give EMF 2, a thrown object will give EMF 3, a ghost event will give EMF 4, and all of those can give you EMF 5, if the ghost has that evidence. If your ghost can give EMF 5 as an evidence, it won't do it for every interaction, it's something like a 25% chance to show up as EMF 5. So when you hear an interaction like a throw or a door touch, check with the EMF reader. Flashlight. This is the basic flashlight. It has a poor cone of vision and this yellowish hue to it. I wouldn't recommend using this if you have access to the strong flashlight. Ghostwriting book. Ghostwriting is one of the more tedious evidences to get. It can take a while to get for some reason, but it's just a case of placing the book down in the ghost room and waiting. There's no special tricks with the book. Make sure you place it down and don't just drop it. Ghosts can't open books. Always remember where you placed your book. If the ghost throws the book and it hasn't wrote in it, that means the ghost does not have writing as an evidence. Spirit box. Using the spirit box is easy. Head into the ghost room, turn off the lights, turn the spirit box on, and using your open mic or push to talk, ask the ghost a question. If you're playing with friends, you might have to be the only one in the ghost room to get a response. There's loads of questions you can ask. I always use, where are you? Are you here? How old are you? Are you friendly? If you see the little microphone icon in black, that means your microphone or push to talk is active and the game is picking up your mic. If you then ask a question, you'll either get a response from the ghost, and so the ghost symbol will go black, or if you get the black X, that means the game heard you and received your question, but you didn't get a response. You must be within a certain proximity of the ghost to get a response, so make sure you know roughly where your ghost is, or just keep asking until you get a response. There's a little 1 second cooldown, so pause and wait for the X or the ghost symbol to light up before you ask another question. You can use the spirit box during or just after a ghost event because the ghost is stood right there. Do not mistake ghost events and other interactions for spirit box evidence. You must get a vocal response from the ghost on the spirit box for it to count as evidence. A few ghosts have quirks with the spirit box. The Moroi will curse you if you get a response from it, meaning your sanity will drain quicker while in the house. The only way to stop it is to leave the house, and to cure it you must take a sanity pill. The D.O.T.S has a chance to breathe heavily and deeply into the spirit box if you ask a question while you are within 1 meter of it. Also, the yokai is an early hunter around 70% sanity if you're too loud, so if you think it might be a yokai, keep the noise down. UV light. The UV light is used to show fingerprints, handprints and footsteps. If a ghost touches a door, a window, a cooler box, a light switch, a keyboard, prison cells, lanterns, tents, doors and windows, benches or wooden poles, it will leave a handprint or fingerprint. The fingerprints will stay for about 2 minutes before disappearing and will be in the same place every time. The obake can leave a special handprint with 6 fingers and a hole in the palm, so if you see this, you know it's either an obake or a mimic pretending to be an obake. And obake fingerprints disappear quicker than other ghost fingerprints. Obake also has a 25% chance to not leave a fingerprint at all, so always double and triple check. Footsteps are completely different and do not count as fingerprint evidence. In order to see footsteps, the ghost has to walk through a pile of salt. A few seconds later will walk around and leave footprints that can be seen with a torch or glowstick. However, if the ghost walks through the salt pile and you still hear the ghost stepping around but there's no footsteps, then you're dealing with a wraith. The pile of salt itself doesn't count as a footstep. Video camera. The video camera will automatically open once you leave the van. If you right click with the video cam, this will put on the night vision setting. If you want to place the camera down, you'll see the silhouette of the camera, and if you hold left click, it will rotate the camera for the perfect placement. You can place them down in rooms and then check the cameras from the monitor in the van. These ghosts will leave behind a ghost orb somewhere in their room. This orb is a small white dot that floats around for a few seconds before disappearing and reappearing again. Orbs can only be seen through a video camera with the night vision setting. It also helps to turn off lights and torches for better visibility. Some items in rooms might give a slight glow, and this could trick your mind into seeing ghost orbs. And also the snowy weather snowflakes look very similar. You might mistake those for ghost orbs, so always double check. Snowflakes always fall down, ghost orbs float around. Another thing, the Mimic does not list ghost orbs as one of its 3 evidence, but there will always be ghost orbs with a Mimic, so don't rule it out if you do see orbs. Photo camera, probably the best item in the game. Each camera can take 5 photos and you can bring 3 photo cams with you. You can take pictures of interactions, fingerprints, the bone, the cursed item, the ghost, and that's how you get most of your money in this game, through photos. The closer you take a photo, the better. So if something is on the floor, it's better to crouch down and take a photo rather than being stood up. As long as whatever you're taking a picture of is inside the display grid, you're fine. You can take photos during hunts and ghost events while the camera is distorted. It won't affect your picture. You can take 10 photos that count in your journal. Anything after that won't count. However, you can still take a ghost photo after your 10 journal pictures to count towards the ghost photo objective. Some photos are worth more than others. The ghost is worth the most, then the bone, then the cursed item, fingerprints, footprints, interactions, dead body, and dirty water. Don't take dirty water or dead body photos, they're not good value photos. Now for the other items that you have to purchase. First, the candle. Being around a lit candle will preserve your sanity at its current level, unless the ghost uses a sanity draining ability or does a ghost event. Candles will also maintain your sanity if they're placed on a surface like the floor or a table, as long as you stay near it. A candle left on for too long will naturally go out by itself after a couple of minutes. The ghost can also blow out the candle. If it's an on-Rio and it blows out the candle, it has a chance to hunt no matter what sanity you're at. Candles also act as crucifixes for the on-Rio, so if you put candles down, it will prevent the on-Rio from hunting unless it roams away and hunts from a different location. Crucifixes can be used to stop the ghost from hunting. Each crucifix has 2 charges. The first use will burn away one of the arms. The second use will completely burn out the crucifix, and once it's been fully burned, it won't do anything. You can use a crucifix in your hand or on the ground. Crucifixes will stop hunts within 3 meters of the ghost, or 5 meters if it's a demon. Once a crucifix is used, there'll be a 5-second cooldown before the ghost can hunt again. Glowsticks work the same as the UV light, but they only last for about a minute before they die out. They still work while they're dim, it's just nowhere near as bright. I recommend using the UV torch most of the time. The only time I use a glow stick is when I want footstep photos. I wait for the ghost to walk through salt, activate the glow stick and just drop it. It lights up the surrounding area and you can see footprints easily this way. You can also use them as placement markers, I guess. Head-mounted cameras are pretty useless. You can see your teammate's point of view, but it's quite janky. You can see ghost orbs with them, you can guide your teammates around if you're looking through the van monitor, and they don't take up an item slot, which is good, but they have no use in single player, and I don't really recommend buying them. The lighter is literally just a lighter. It can light candles, it can light the campfire, and it lights smudge sticks. I would recommend buying one as soon as you can, just so you can light the summoning circle and get the ghost to blow out a candle objective. Motion sensors are so useful for tracking the ghost. You can place them on walls or floors. I like to place them on door frames to see if the ghost comes in or out of a room. It's one of the only ways to live track the ghost. The Parabolic Microphone, or Paramic for short, detects sounds from near or far. If the ghost communicates with the Parabolic Microphone, you'll hear a whisper or a chant. It's more useful on big maps to scan around and look for a reading, otherwise it's used to get a response from the Banshee, because the Banshee will give a certain scream that only the Banshee can do to help you identify it on nightmare mode. Salt you can place down in piles, and if the ghost walks through the salt, it will then walk around leaving glowing green footprints for a few seconds, which you can only see with the UV light or glow stick, unless it's a wraith. Wraiths can walk through salt, but do not leave green footprints behind. If the ghost does leave footprints, you can take a photo of each individual footprint for money. Each salt has 3 uses, so make sure you know roughly where your ghost is before putting salt down. Please remember, footprints do not count as fingerprints evidence. Sanity Pills restore your sanity by 40% on amateur, 35% on intermediate, 30% on professional, and 25% on nightmare mode. If you're at 95% or higher sanity, you cannot take a pill. You can also use Sanity Pills to cure yourself from the Moroi curse. Smudge Sticks are such a useful item. To use them, hold the smudge stick in your hand and make sure you have a lighter in your inventory. They should be used when in proximity of the ghost. They can be used before, during and after a hunt. If used before or after a hunt, this will stop most ghosts from being able to hunt for 90 seconds. The demon will only be stopped for 60 seconds and the spirit will be stopped for 180 seconds. Smudge Stick can also increase activity and likelihood of ghost events. If used during a hunt, while the ghost has line of sight of you, it will repel the ghost for 6 seconds or 12 seconds if it's a Moroi, allowing you to break line of sight, get away and hide. Keep in mind that the ghost could still follow you. It basically forces the ghost to pretend you're not there, but it'll feel like it's still following you. So I would smudge just before you enter a room or hiding spot. Two things. Do not throw your smudge stick at the ghost. This will not repel it. Can't tell you how many times I've done that. Also, can't tell you how many times I've gone to smudge and not had a lighter in my inventory. Sound sensors are another less common, less useful item. When placed in a room, they show up on the map in the truck and pick up any sounds from inside this yellow radius. It's good for covering multiple rooms at once to determine where the ghost is, and more useful on big maps as they cover a larger area. The strong flashlight is the best portable light source. Twice as big as the regular flashlight, brighter, clearer, and allows you to see further ahead. Thermometer. Although you can use a thermometer, you don't necessarily need it. The thermometer shows the temperature of where you're pointing the thermometer. So I always point it down at the floor for a couple of seconds so I know exactly where the reading is coming from. If you get 0.0 Celsius or below on the thermometer, you've got freezing temperatures. Anything 0.1 or above is not freezing. The ghost room will usually drop to around 0.1 to 6 degrees Celsius. So if you have the breaker turned on for a while, the rest of the rooms will warm up to around 20 degrees, except the ghost room. You can also get freezing temperatures if you see your breath or someone else's. One quick note, I see a lot of people getting bamboozled by the airball ghost event, mistaking that for freezing. You can easily confirm freezing just by stepping backwards a few times and you'll see your breath. And last but not least is the tripod. To use the tripod, pick up a video camera, hover over the tripod and you'll see the silhouette snap onto the tripod. Press F to place it on top. You can then carry this around, but if you switch hand items, it'll drop the tripod. It's good to use tripods because you can place cameras wherever you want, giving you a better view of the area. If you're using cameras on tripods, place them in corners of rooms for better field of view, and don't place them in door frames because doors can be opened and closed, and this might obstruct your view. And that is all the items in Phasmophobia. I hope you learned something new. If there's anything I missed, let me know down below. Thank you for watching, see you later.